Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, September 22nd edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As usual, a reminder that we operate under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. At the beginning of the meeting, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone new to the group to unmute and say hello or type in the chat and say hello, totally optional. But if there's anyone new on today, I will leave that for a minute if you'd like to say hello. Cool. I think we don't have anyone new on today anyway, so sounds good. It's your moment of silence for the morning or evening, as the case may be, or afternoon. Guess it's not quite afternoon yet, but all right, let's dig into our notes then. Oh, what is this? Gonna check this thing from the chat first.
I just hit merge and approve on it.
Oh, perfect.
Or looks good and approved. Sorry.
All right. So this is
it's adding a link to the README. Nothing super fancy.
Gotcha. Minor update.
The fancier thing is the spotlight itself.
Yeah, of course. Minor update to the SIG ContribEx Spotlight blog, which is already out. It's just updating the link. I see. Excellent. So I will note that. Update to the already published SIG ContribEx Spotlight blog. Thank you, Avinash, for adding that in. Once LGTM is removed, it requires 2 LGTMs again? That's weird.
Who removed it? Oh, the CI robot did. Oh, okay.
Oh, because something changed. There was a second commit. It'll do that.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, that's how that works. All right. Looks like that's good to go, though. It should send soon once the health check's complete. We'll keep an eye on that and check it again here in a bit, probably. So let's start with our first item. So earlier this week, Arpit and I met to actually update the social media lead handbook. Imagine that. Yay! Thank you very much, Arpit, for working with me through that process. And Arpit had several really good ideas that I wanted to share in the meeting that I wanted us to discuss while we were looking through the social media handbook. One of them was we were talking about if we should have documents around a process for how we adopt new social media channels and things like that, which is in new items. So we can talk more about that in a minute. But coming from that, we were talking about LinkedIn since we're investigating that. There's that existing LinkedIn thing. But Arpit pointed out that generally we're K8's contributors across social media. So should we, instead of using the existing one, actually be creating a new one with our usual name?
That's a very good point.
Right? Well
like
done,
I did not even think of that. Like, I guess, yes, we have committed to Kate's contributors across the board, huh?
We kind of have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
How's that going, by the way? Did anyone ever respond?
No, I never got an email to my knowledge, so
we can ignore that.
Yeah.
Just move forward with Kate's contributors. That sound like the plan?
Yeah.
Yep.
Why not? Sure.
You Arpit.
Yeah, no, they never responded. Wow. That's wild.
Forget that. We'll do our own thing. Like we, I guess, should have done to begin with.
Right. Yes. Yay, shadows.
Yay, shadows. It's very important to get fresh eyes on these things sometimes. Oh, that's a very good point.
Oh gosh, wow. Okay.
Makes you feel a little silly, doesn't it?
It doesn't make me feel silly. It just makes me feel like, have I not been sleeping enough? Right? Like
Yeah,
that's a really long
exactly.
time to not realize that.
Which
Because we
maybe is
mentioned
why
it
we need,
what, like 3, 4 weeks ago now?
just maybe why we need docs. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip to this top new item since it's related. Um, so we were looking through the social media handbook and we were talking about the responsibilities of a social media lead and how a social media lead should probably theoretically lead the charge if we're gonna adopt something new. Um, and like what all would be involved with that. How do we test it? How do we decide whether or not that's a good platform for us? Initiate the process to request more funding in Buffer if we're going to need that. Make sure that it follows existing social media guidelines.
Right.
So we considered putting a bunch of stuff about that in the handbook, but the handbooks are pretty consistent that they're like, here's a brief overview of the role, here's a brief overview of the responsibilities of the role, and here's a brief overview of the shadow. So there's no real place there for details on here's how we do a specific thing that this role owns. So I think that should be its own separate doc.
I agree with that. Yeah,
Cool.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, the evaluation process, I think it's pretty simple, right? Like where
Yeah.
are our contributors? And then, maybe we need to just get some stats from CNCF to kind of just prove that out and be done with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
As
know.
I started to explore what I would write about it, I was like, there's a good chunk of stuff here.
Yeah.
Enough to necessitate a doc, I think. And we could also add in like details about Buffer in there.
Mm-hmm.
Because another thing I did with the social media handbook while we were going through it was remove all references to the word tweet, make them all post, and remove all references to the contributor tweets repo.
Well, yeah, that repo needs to go away. I think we said it anyway. I don't even.
Yeah. I don't
Huh.
know if we decided on that, but I think that's what we should do.
Yeah. Um. Interesting.
We we could like archive that, I guess. Archive.
Yeah, let's archive it if we can. The GitHub admins would know what to do there.
Yeah. So we should start looking into that, start that process. And then we can record stuff about that process of turning down a social media tool thing.
Mm.
Um, cool. Thank you very much for that. So we'll move on to the next updates big wins item, which was also something that Arpit found. Arpit, do you want to talk about it?
Yep. So basically, what I found when I am writing some tweets in the buffer, like if you wrote a tweet and you make a draft on it on the buffer, and if you if you want to re-edit it, it is okay. But if you delete the draft, you cannot actually uh, draft the same tweet again. Like buffer does not allow that for a week.
For 24 hours, you said, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am actually I found it a long time ago. So I forgot it is for a week or for 24 hours.
probably 24 hours. But either way, it's a good thing to know about.
Right. Like this happens to me frequently when like the API doesn't fully disconnect cleanly, I feel like.
Mm.
Because I'll have like, oh, this thing didn't go out. Try again and it fails. So it's like, wait a minute. And I go look and it actually went out. It just didn't remove it from the queue.
Oh,
So
I have
that
seen that kind of stuff happen too.
bump
And
bumps like that happen frequently for me. So yeah.
in this
That's
case,
like
I
a
think,
safety feature for them though, because like they had a problem, I think, early on with like multiple posts of the same thing coming out, right? Like, so they have to put some kind of safety mechanism on their side to keep
yeah,
people from spamming.
yeah. So it we said that it doesn't happen if you just change the wording of the tweet slightly. the post slightly.
It just can't be the identical thing, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So something to
But
put in that
that's-
buffer doc.
Right, yeah. The whole 24-hour hold thing.
Yeah. And I think you said, Arpit, that I think it popped up a message like when you tried to create the same draft. Like it wasn't just it didn't let you.
It throws an error. The draft cannot be saved because it is the same.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So it's like a thing.
Yeah.
More than
Not-
just a API weirdness.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So good thing to note. Might want to test that and then put it into that doc when we start working on it.
Yeah, you know what? I really want to work I'm in the Buffer Discord as a beta tester. I can ask them like where their policies are for that stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. And thank you, Bishal, for writing a couple of tweets. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Excellent. So that's just a note. Chris, merge things.
Yes. Well, roll books and lines of stuff. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm sure we'll see. I know I put the role handbook issue in the board. So we'll see that stuff come up when we get to the board as well. Sometimes I'm tempted to call the board the table. Throwback.
Why not? I mean, it's tabular.
Yeah. Yeah. For reference for anyone who missed that. I don't know if we have anyone new enough to have missed that, but we used to have a big table at the top of the dock that we would use for the same thing we use the board for now. So that's pretty funny. Anyway, and yeah, then I have a note to go through Frederico stuff. Let's go ahead and hop to it. Do you want to use the board to navigate, Frederico? Across your stuff? Cool. Here it is. Excellent. So SIG architecture. There are two of them here?
Yeah, because there are one contributor site and website repositories.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
It's funny that the first 3 digits are the same.
Yeah, like that was a little confusing for me for a second. I was like, wait, I see contributor site, I see website, but the same number?
Cool. So tell us about
and
it.
Yeah, so it's this was open, but now it's it's not no longer a work in progress in the sense that I've already reviewed it. So it's there just waiting for editorial comments by the docs team, etc., and anyone. I've shared the links in our channel as well. And the tentative publication date is for next Thursday, I think. So if there's nothing that needs to be done that leads us to extend past that date, it will be done on next Thursday. So then that's pretty much it for the conformance PR. The first one that's in there, it's not the first one. It's the production readiness. It's the fourth one.
This one?
Yep. This is the issue. So I open an issue for it. Okay. I've shared the HackMD link with the author. So he is reviewing. It told me that he would be reviewing next week. And this is the immediate one in the pipeline after the conformance one. And so that's already on HackMD, so it should be the next PR opened. And this is, in terms of blogs, pretty much it. The rest, I know that there's the third one that will be published. Wait 1 second. I had some issues with my Google Drive being 100%. So some people, just when people were starting to add stuff, they couldn't. But let me check which one is it. It's the too many things. Just 1 second. Enhanced one. It's the one that
Oh, you're cutting out a bit, Federico.
I was about to say, is that him or me?
Yeah. Could you try it again? It looks like you're back.
no, yeah. It's
There you are.
when I open a Google Doc, it just 300%
Yeah.
CPU usage, and there we go.
Interesting.
So it was the enhancements project. That's the one that's also done on the Google Doc, and that's the third one that will go out. I'm still insisting with the other two, with the code organization and the API, which are essentially in the same status as they were last week. The same can be said about the book club one, but that's planned, so it's still 1 week. We're still 1 week ahead of the revised scheduled, and the KubeCon one, which there's also no updates.
You're doing so many things.
I know, right?
But it's a lot of waiting, so it's like the CPU that just context switches without major problems. I think that the SIG architecture ones, fortunately, are the ones that now are actually giving me some work, right? Reviewing, etc. The rest is just pinging people and hopefully waiting that I have some more content to add.
Yeah. Fussing, reminders. So much of the work of creating these blogs.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So nothing needed right this moment, but I guess we'll be seeing these very soon.
Yeah, those ones, yes. And
Yeah.
blog wise, there's the first one there. It's from Nitish, so I think it's pretty ready for publication as well. I think there are some reviews pending, but I think Nitish can provide that feedback.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and talk about this one, Nitish, while we're here? Is Nitish on?
Thought he was.
He
There-
is.
There we go. Okay.
Can't hear him though. You might be hardware muted because it doesn't look like you're muted on Zoom, Nitish.
Yeah.
Technology. How does it work?
The best. The best.
Indeed.
Also,
I
I'm trying-
can, while assuming that Nitish is having some hardware problems,
Technical difficulties.
yeah, with which I can perfectly relate. I can give the quick update on this from the perspective of being there reviewing. So the bulk of of it is done. There were a lot of comments that were already integrated, small fixes. We're talking about the typical stuff that goes on around this kind of this kind of spotlight articles. That being said, there are a couple which are still not reflected there, and while that is the case, well, it's not ready for publication, and we will have to update the publication date as well, and also when this is done, update the website one, which is, I mean, the simple thing. There are, I would say, 2 to 3 pending reviews that need to be addressed in some way, either integrated or alternative suggested. So that's the point of it.
Sounds good. You can also type Nitish if there's anything in particular you want to call out about this one. Looks like you all are working through it. Sometimes that's how it is. Cool. Are there any other blog updates that you particularly want to be here for, Frederico? Or other updates?
No, you could go on. I'll just drop when I receive the notification that I need to be in the other one.
Okay,
So
sounds
yeah.
good. Which
Thank
should
you.
be in about 4 minutes.
It should be in about 4 minutes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So everyone else who's doing a spotlight blog, we will get to you in a little bit after we finish the regular notes. Thank you very much, Federico and Nitish.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see what else we've got. We already talked about the ContribEx Spotlight blog update, which let's check on that again. Spotlight blog for SIG release, SIG performance, SIG ContribEx. Merge waiting for requirements to be waiting for status to be reported. All right, well, maybe it's not done yet. All right. We should archive the contributor tweets repo. We should we said that we should reach out to the GitHub folks about that, right?
Yeah, the GitHub admins would be able to steer us in the right direction there. Because I think only they can do it, to be honest with you.
That's a to-do item for
You want
you,
to make
me,
that
and
happen? Yeah.
you, me, and Avinash. Avinash is also very good at navigating GitHub, so it might be good for him to interact with the GitHub admins.
Yeah. You probably should. They all know me, so.
I don't know them.
Oh, well, maybe both of you should. Maybe we could do it together.
Avinash can do that.
I take that up.
Cool.
Yeah, just
Probably
ask
do.
them, like, we need to archive this repo. What's the process? It's probably documented. I just don't know where.
Yeah. I probably do know them, but have never asked them about GitHub
You know a
admin
few
things.
of them.
Yeah.
You know a few of them.
Cool. Appreciate that, Avnish. We'll check in on that again next week. By the way, I've got next week and then the week after. I've got 2 more of these meetings, I believe, before I am out. So,
Like, Caslin, I swear we're tempting
The
the guy. We're
countdown.
tempting fate here. All right. I just hope nothing goes haywire while you're gone, like it did. What, the last 2 times you were gone or out of the country?
I feel so important.
We'll just get through the registry change and everything else,
Okay. The important thing is that our lead of weird things happening will still
Yes.
be here. So I'm sure it'll be
Yes.
handled.
It'll be fine. I'll pull people in. Don't worry.
Cool.
Unless it's like, oh my God, Chris, something horribly wrong.
I will have my phone, which has Slack on it. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but
You should probably uninstall Slack. I'm just going to say that.
possibly.
Like, I would do that if I'm going someplace for 3 weeks.
It's true. Japan in particular.
Right. Yeah. Like, your time zones aren't going to align. You're going to get, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I should probably not do that. Anyway, questions, comments, and concerns about that are welcome, but you should all be fine. You've got this. Thank you, Frederica. We'll see you around on Slack
good
and
weekend.
next week. So in the new items, we already went over the top thing there, which was creating social media channel process stuff. So Arpit, you and I should work together more on that. You should ping me on Slack now to be like, hey, we need to work on that, because everything from this meeting is removed from my brain after this meeting ends. So go ahead and ping me now and I'll see it later, hopefully. So next item in new items is from Sundapan.
Can you repeat? Like,
Yeah.
my network dropped.
Oh,
Oh.
please ping me about creating the new social media channel process guidelines thing, however you want to word that.
Yep.
Because
Okay,
otherwise I
ping
will
you now.
forget.
Thank
you.
Ping me too, please, because there's a lot of knowledge that I could probably dump into that.
That's
talk.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am the social media lead in name, but honestly, I feel like Chris does more.
No, I'm just the under the hood stuff. You do the public facing stuff very well, Kaslin.
I appreciate that. You are the one who suggested buffer, which has been lovely.
Yeah, no, we look. I mean, yeah, it has worked for me for many years, so I'm glad we went with that route.
Yeah, me too. It makes the tweets much better as well, I think. We'll
This
talk
has some
about that more
fancy
in a
new
bit.
AI stuff too. So
Oh, I don't. We'll see how that works out.
Mhm.
Anyway, Sandapan, you had an item in here. Would you like to talk about it?
Yes. So I remember that in the SIG annual reports, we have in the project health part, there is a question on uh, what areas or sub-project does your group need the help with the most, or are there any areas with two or more owners? So I remember that back in 2021, we used to scan those parts and send out tweets from the Kubernetes contributors Twitter channel that these areas of the SIG need contributors and help the SIG get new contributors. So to do that with the 2022 SIG annual reports.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good point. I don't know where we are with the annual report right now. Also, Sandapan, you sound like a robot. But I can still understand you, so it's not a huge issue, I think.
Surprisingly, the transcription did really good.
Huh. I want transcription. Anyway, yes, that is something that we should do every year. That was always one of our biggest requests from the rest of the SIG, kind of from the rest of the project, is please help us get contributors to meet the help wanted stuff from the annual report. Yeah, so does anyone know where the annual report is right now?
Jesus.
Isn't that a while ago?
Yeah, hang on.
Did we not do that?
Kubernetes
Even if we did,
annual?
maybe we should just spin that up again if you're interested in Sandapan.
There's a CNCF annual report for 2022, but I don't see. Oh, well, that's from CIVO. That's data on EKS.
There's a repo where they all are, I think.
I know. I'm only seeing like actual blog posts though. That's the problem.
It's in the SIG readmes, Sandapan says.
Wait,
It, like
SIG?
Kubernetes
Docs?
SIGs, like case SIG.
Oh,
Isn't that a thing?
yeah. There's a SIG list.
If you can find the link,
Yeah,
would be
that'd
appreciated.
great. Oh, and we still link to the community meeting
We do? Where?
on the SIG list.
Oh no. There's something for someone to do. Anyone need a PR?
Here, go here, remove a link.
Yeah. Thank you, Sandapan, for finding it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
It is in.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
Got it. It is in the SIG contributor experience directory. Good
All
stuff.
right. And this was published 4 months ago. I don't know that we ever actually did anything with that. Oops.
I don't think so either, but I think now is a good time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sandapan, for bringing this up. I'm really glad you remembered that that was a project that we did. I guess no one really asked about it this year, so we didn't do it. We should keep an eye on that better in the future. Our pit, that's probably something social media lead should think about.
Is it? Yeah, probably.
More people should help, but
yes,
social media lead is
absolutely
definitely important to this effort. Yeah.
Annual report needs.
I would appreciate that greatly, Sandapan, if you would like to help out with that.
Can
I don't think
add that to the guidelines too, please?
Yeah, we should.
Just so there's some kind of trail of some sort.
Our pit, you might want to ping me a note about that as well, that we should and annual report posts responsibility. I'm never going to remember what that means.
Wait, we're rolling out one password? Where? Oh, the GitHub admin team. Okay. That makes sense.
Community manager, group mentoring cohort. That makes sense that would happen. I'm
Hmm.
glad that we have folks from that group in our team.
Hmm.
I don't think there was any specific process for this. Was there, Sendipun? Like, there's not like a sheet like we did for KubeCon tweets. Maybe we should do something like that.
Yeah.
Be like, here's the
maybe.
SIG. Here are the posts about that
Oh, dear
SIG.
God. Oh, never mind.
I think that would be good to set up.
I think we did once, and I remember when Deba did, Deba Brata, when he was there here in the group, he used to do this. Like he created a sheet.
The 2021 doc.
Yeah, so I think we
Did
have
he?
done once.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we did it with like a doc. Wonder if it'd be easier to do it with a sheet.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we just put the SIGs and then the tweets.
This is wonderful. Oh, I don't need to do that. I see extra space. I want to delete it. But Sundipun, would you like to lead that? Maybe Arpit helping you out? You two working together to set this up? Be a good project for both of you, I think.
Yeah, we
Cool.
can do that. Good job.
That sound interesting to you, Arpit?
Definitely needed.
Yeah, bro. The only thing is my internet is a bit slow today, so all of you are sounding like robots.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
So I am guessing half the stuff what you are talking.
I'll type it in the chat.
Yes. Want us all? We can all turn off our video if need be.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, let's do that.
Auto-corrected Sundipun to Sandman.
At least it wasn't Enter the Sandman. We should, let me finish typing this and then I will get to your hand, Avinash. We should Yeah.
Turn off my video as well. See if that helps. Oh gosh, that made everyone's video go away. Well, I guess that's fine. Okay. Avinash, you had something to say?
Yeah, so I'm a bit in a hurry today. So can you just explain me? There was a comment in the notes in the previous meet when I was here, when I wasn't here. It said contributor summit schedule post, and there is a question mark. So
Oh, yes. We often integrate the contributor summit tweets into the KubeCon tweets document, like the sheet that we use here. So we wanted to check with you if you wanted to do things that way. If there are any specific contributor summit tweets that you would like to put in here beyond what's already in here, you're welcome to use this doc for that.
awesome. I'll keep this in my mind. Like when things are coming closer, I'll update these.
Yep. Sounds good. Also, if you have any volunteers or shadows working with you on the contributor summit comms, you might want to point them to this doc and ask them to help out with it by doing
Sure.
contributor summit ones.
Yeah, I can take a look at that.
Wonderful. Now I can't see participants. There we go. Because nobody has their video on it, like took away my usual view so that I could see who was talking.
That's right. I forget it does that in full screen mode.
Kind of annoying. Anyway, sounds good. Also, while we're here in the KubeCon tweets, thank you very much, Bishal, for doing a couple of tweets already. We haven't posted this in SIG ContribEx yet or anywhere else really. Yeah, I have to recognize people by voice. I'm not great at that. But if we should go ahead and start posting this places.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that on my to-do list. Everyone, if you want to help out with that, please do. Please post about it on your social media. Arpit, would you like to write the message for SIG ContribEx channel? We can talk about it on Slack. You can send me a draft and I can let you know if you need to change anything, and you can send it over to that channel. Can you hear us now, Arpit? Oh, hello, Sajay. You've brought back my view that I like better. Arpit is not responding. Thank you, Avinash.
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
Yeah. You know where to find us if you need anything. Arpit is not responding, so I don't know that having the videos off is helping with his internet
Doesn't sound
issues.
like it. No.
All right, well, I'm going to turn my video back on.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Yes, there you are.
Yeah.
Was it helping to have the videos off?
I switched the internet, so maybe now it will work fine.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
okay.
So exactly what you are saying.
So I was saying, would you DM me and let's work out a message to send to the SIG ContribEx channel
About what?
about the contributor, the KubeCon tweets, asking for help writing the posts, which is not tweets anymore, it's posts. I guess I should change the name of this.
So like we are going to send it on the Slack channel, right?
Yes. And everyone, help wanted. Please share with your channels, anyone you know who would like to do a little bit of work in the community. We would appreciate their contributions to the tweets. If they share their name or handle, we will do a tweet or post at the beginning of the KubeCon coverage to thank them for their work. So it'll be publicly recognized.
Like, can we also share it via like socials, like from
Yes,
Kate's
please do.
contributors on X, and like, or as because it is like we are sharing the doc, so we should only share it in the Slack.
We should share it publicly. As I'm good with posting it on Kate's contributors. I'm good with posting it on people's personal social media accounts. So we should probably come up with a buffer post about this as well, saying, hey, this project is starting up. We need some help. It's super easy to contribute to. Let us know in the ContribEx com Slack if you want some help, if you want to help. We can discuss it more on Slack. Does that sound good, Arpit?
Yep.
Cool. In dev channel might be good too. Excellent. Nitish, you're now in charge of letting that channel know. Something along the lines of the contributor comms team is doing their biannual KubeCon posts project, and they could use help writing posts about stuff happening at KubeCon. It's super easy to get started with. Ping us in ContribEx comms if you would like to help. If it's in the Kubernetes Slack, I think honestly it would also be okay to even point them directly to this sheet because it's got instructions at the front. If you want a review on what you post before you post it, just send it my way. But Nitish, you're now in charge of posting it in that channel. Anyone else who has ideas welcome to share this. Half the goal of this project is for it to be an easy place for folks new to the project to contribute something meaningful. So the more people we can get involved with it, the better, in my opinion. Cool. So, excellent. So we are through the notes. We've got less than 15 minutes left. So we should probably do the board. There's a lot of stuff on the board right now anyway. I think we talked about a good amount of it anyway. So ready for review. We talked about the SIG architecture ones. Nitish, was there anything you wanted to add about SIG release? Do you think Federico pretty much covered it?
I think, yeah, Federico pretty much has covered all the aspects. What I wanted to share is that, like, for this week, the mid-semester exams were going on, and I did not look at the PR that has been raised. I know Federico has suggested a lot of changes, but as soon as I'm done with the exams, which is tomorrow itself, right, I'll be raising the changes very soon.
Good luck with exams.
Yes,
Thank
totally.
you.
Focus on the important things.
Mhm.
Sounds good. Looks like that is moving along. We appreciate your work on it. So we'll move on from that. We talked about SIG architecture. Last week in Kubernetes development issue template. Any new updates there that we want to talk about? Micah?
Like a
Yeah, sorry, I did not hear you.
oh, you're fine.
All good.
Mhm. Yeah, I still need a review on this issue template that we're writing for WKD. So we decided that we'll be taking updates from all the SIGs or any other updates across Kubernetes, and people can give their updates through an issue, and that is the suggestion that we got. So we'll be having an issue template based on which it will be easier for them to submit to us what they want to be updated for the next week's LWKD newsletter. And it sounds like a really good way. So this is the issue template that I thought of for the same.
I love it. Creating process. Hopefully making your life easier. Cool. So this is ready for review, right? You're looking for reviews on it?
Yes.
Perfect.
What can we improve? I guess, Chris, you mentioned about promotion section for this one, right?
Oh, yeah. So in the template, promotion is kind of maybe too vague, if that makes sense, right? Like maybe it should be API promotion or maybe version promotions or something like that. Because if I'm a marketer and I see a newsletter with the word promotion in it, and I don't understand the text underneath it, I'm going to be very confused and think that I could buy sponsorship in there. So I don't know. I mean, your call, but I would just
Feature
add
promotion.
a little more. Yeah.
Yeah. Make that slightly more descriptive to say what kind of promotion you're talking about.
Yes.
It's a good point. Sound good?
Yeah, I will take this into consideration and think of what we can change it to. Because I think the previous LWKD that has been going, it already had promotion section, but renaming it now is a good idea. So I'll think about this. What can we actually rewrite it into?
I think feature promotions make sense depending on what it actually is.
Yeah. What normally would go in there, I guess.
Yeah. What is the kind of content that goes in there?
I'll say that. We actually also consider including updates from other projects that are not inside Kubernetes. Even I don't remember this from the time since I've been working with LWKD. I've never actually covered the promotion section, but I can try to read it from the Kubernetes. What exactly they did.
Maybe just bring this feedback up with Josh in our channel. Josh will probably have opinions about what it should be changed to.
Yes.
And then if it's in our channel, we'll see it so we can pile in and help out with the discussion.
Yeah.
So make a comment about it in our channel and ping Josh about it. Sound good?
Anything else? Like the name of the issue template, feature and update for LWKD. Does that sounds good? Or you can rephrase it to something else, and that is the description that I wrote. Submit a news PR content update. If we can have content changes in order to make it sound more logical and coherent in a way.
I think that makes sense. You could also do feature and update in LWKD. I think either way works though. Yeah.
Yeah.
We only have 9 minutes left. So I'll put this on my list to look at more later. But if you start that conversation in Slack, hopefully you'll get a few more eyes on it as well.
Yeah, I'll just bring the comment that Chris made.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll move on from this for now and move it to Slack. All right. And the next one is update social media lead handbook, which says that it's still like a thing, but it's actually merged. I don't know why it's not updated on the board.
Oh,
So I guess I'll delete my branch, which is good. Nice.
does the board auto update?
It should usually. I don't know why. Usually it
Hmm.
changes the little symbol here to the purple one instead of the green one.
Hmm.
But even if I refresh, it's not doing that. But anyway, it's done. So I'm going to move it to done. So party time.
Dun, dun,
Woo!
dun.
Folks were saying we don't party when we remove stuff from the board as much as we did when it was a table. So
Oh, wow.
I command you to party.
Yeah.
I do love moving stuff on the board, though. It's pretty satisfying.
Yes. Agreed.
All right, 8 minutes left. Let's see if we can get through the in progress items. SIG architecture spotlight article. Any updates on that? I guess that's also Federico, actually. Yes, never mind. We already talked about those. SIG testing spotlight article from Sundapan. Any updates there? Okay, perfect. I'll let you do that for a little bit and move on to the next one, and then we'll come back to your updates. Is that okay? Sundapan? Probably. I'm going to assume it's fine. We already talked about book reading club, Zapier. Any updates there that you want to share, Chris?
No.
Cool.
A doc was started though. Sujay did, I think, start a doc. I forget.
Yes, you created the dog.
Oh, I created the doc. That's right. And I put in some, Jesus. I put in some stuff, but I have mermaid diagrams I'm working on
Yeah, we wanted to put mermaid diagrams in there.
somewhere. I could have sworn it was in the same window, but I guess not. Okay, fun.
Next item is SIG node. Any updates there, Arpit?
Yep. So I reached out the SIG leads and chairs. So basically, the thing is, we are doing the blog like from the angle of sidecar KEP. So I am like modifying the questions regarding that, and also we are filling up the doc in the WG meetings of the SIG node, which the first one is on next Tuesday. So yeah.
Cool. And so you're meeting with them next Tuesday, right?
Yep. Like if I like prepare the questions that are satisfying, like I will send a questions doc on the channel once I am ready with it to get reviewed. Like because I
Perfect.
am still understanding the sidecar concept, and the KEP concept is pretty new to me, so I am understanding it and like trying my best so that the blog comes out to be like a good one.
Yeah, sounds good. And we can talk more about that if you need some more help understanding
Yeah,
it. Happy to
totally.
answer questions.
I can get you some resources too. I
Yeah.
know Linkerd has a bunch of good stuff about like what a sidecar is on
That'd
their
be good.
blog, I think. Istio would also have a bunch of stuff too. As those are the two big things, but now you can do Cilium and all these other network extension things if you need to for observability as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do now with sidecars.
Yeah. And that was their request, wasn't it? To focus on the sidecar cap in the blog?
Yep.
Awesome.
Actually, Dims recommended it because it is quite a hot topic right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we can cover the whole SIG node generally also, and we can also do a like the main content of the blog will be focused on the sidecar cap. and we can also cover the whole SIG apart from that.
That's awesome. I'm really excited that they want to use the blog for something. Love it. All right. Sounds like you're moving along then. Let us know if you need any help. Oh, I need to update comment. Wonderful. So Sundapun's updates on SIG testing. SIG testing chairs have sent their responses to most questions of the spotlight. Some questions are remaining, but he thinks they will be done with that soon. Sounds good, Sundapun. Thank you very much. I think enhancement freeze is coming very soon, right?
I would suspect so. With
I think it
KubeCon
is.
approaching. Yeah, sounds about the right time.
So it'll be harder to get stuff from SIGs as that gets closer. So it's good that a lot of these are moving along right now. But if you encounter any issues where they can't respond for a little bit, that could be why. Just so you know. Cool. We already talked about the SIG release spotlights. Well, spotlight, the one that's in progress. I wouldn't imagine you have any updates on the other SIG release spotlight, right, Nitish?
Yeah, correct. There's no updates because the people that I would like to reach out, they're pretty much busy with the visa issues for the KubeCon and other stuff as well. So no updates for this week again.
Much appreciated. Tech lead shadow requirements. Sujay, you're on today. At some point, you should go over the tech rule book and see what you want to update about it. And then the ask that we've been making to all of the leads is to also add a section in there saying explicitly the requirements if you want to become a shadow. So Chris and I had a meeting about it for the sub-project lead one. Frederico did it on his own because he's a boss like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Arpit met last week to do the social media lead one. It might be a good idea for you to work with one of us. Probably Chris. You would probably be better at it.
Essentially.
Yeah. So you might want to try to set up a meeting to do those updates.
Okay.
You don't have to, but
I'm happy to wake
might
up
be
a
a good
little
idea.
early to meet with y'all. Don't worry. So yeah, throw out some time.
So one major thing would be removing the contributor tweet repo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's mentioned in your role handbook.
Yes, it is.
It probably is. Yeah. So probably removing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then updating it for whatever, like, let it be your dream of what the role should be. These are living documents. If we don't like it, we can change it. But
stuff changes.
Yeah, I have some question regarding that. Like in the doc, it is mentioned that he or she needs to be familiar with Hugo.
Yeah,
I think we can change that requirement a bit.
you could make it optional. The requirement for Hugo is because of the contributor site.
Mm-hmm.
So familiarity with Hugo is really helpful for tech leads, but it's not an absolute requirement.
No. There's plenty of other people in the project that know Hugo. Well,
yeah,
not
because
plenty, but yeah.
I haven't seen any use cases in this meeting.
Yeah, we usually don't, but the tech lead often gets drawn into contributor website stuff. We would like to pick up more contributor website stuff. If we had someone who was particularly good with Hugo, we would do that.
We do, but they're busy.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. So I think you should leave it in as a requirement, but you'll see in some of the other role handbooks, if you look, like in the social media handbook, I think we have at least one requirement that has in brackets at the beginning optional.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't absolutely have to have that, but it would be helpful if we could get a tech
nice
lead
to
that has
have.
that at some point.
Yep, got it.
By the way, one thing. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say Hugo Conf is happening or happened this week. So if you're new to Hugo, you might want to go check out those videos, maybe if they're available yet.
Oh, okay. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Also, as Arpit and I, and also we're at time, a minute beyond time. So if you have to go, no worries. But I'll just say one quick thing here. As Arpit and I were going through the social media lead requirements, I remember that we had written them in such a way that it's not limited to one social media lead. There's nothing anywhere in our readmes that says that we have to only have one of each lead. It kind of depends on the size of the project, but I think that's something important for all of our leads to know as we go forward. That if you wanted to have a co-lead for your area, that is an option.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And we are a minute over time. I'm going to keep going here for just another couple of minutes. Election comms. Thank you so much, Arpit, for all of the work that you've done on that. We are past the point where you need to do things there. We have just a few more communications for that remaining, and they are more sensitive because they're like the results of the election. So I'm planning to handle those myself. This was kind of the first time that we had someone in the election officers who's assigned as the comms lead and comms liaison. So I kind of, even though I'm obviously here, I tried to make use of that and had Arpit work on it with me. So in the future, that might be a process that we follow, I hope. If I'm not an election officer, someone else will be, and someone else will probably work with our team, maybe, to ask for help with the elections comms. So thank you very much, Arpit, for helping me test out that process. Bye, Vishal. Thank you for joining. And KubeCon tweets, we mostly went over that. Again, thank you, Vishal, as you're dropping off for your work on that. And we need to share that around. Share it on your social media, share it on Slack. Any new folks to the project, it can be a great way for them to contribute. So we hope that more folks will join in. And we'll talk about that more next time. Bye, Michelle. In to do, there's a couple of spotlights that are available. Let us know if you want to take those on. Guidelines, maybe we'll get to that someday. New contributor workshop, maybe that will get done someday. And notify comms team when a new issue is created. More for Sujay to look into.
Yeah, there's a whole conversation that happened in Slack admins yesterday that's gonna kind of
about that
put cold water on that whole idea. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one in the project is currently doing it.
Okay.
So there's no mechanism to really do it. And apps, yeah, like there's not apps in our Kubernetes Slack for various reasons. And integrations with GitHub and Zapier and all these other things that need to happen might not even be possible. But there's a way to set up apps without actually using like the Slack app or the Zapier app for Slack, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's kind of gnarly. And
okay.
Yeah.
So won't fix?
I don't know, CJ, we're going to give up on it, or can we think, is there another way? Webhooky stuff, maybe? No, because we'd have to do something with Prow. Dang.
Yeah, and I mean, it was always kind of a medium priority item.
Yeah.
Like if we could do it, it would be nice, but it's not absolutely essential. If you really want to look into it, CJ, I'll leave it on here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll move it to won't fix.
So one thing, can we do it like if we create a app, Slack app, like the one announcement board or something? The one you shared, Chris, yesterday, creating an app.
Yeah.
Once we do that, then can we use Zapier webhook to talk to that app and post via that one?
In theory, yeah, as long as that app can do a webhook or something, it should work.
And I think practically that is possible because I look into the webhook, Zapier webhook, but it needs premium, I guess, to use it.
Really?
Huh. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. More value add. Yay. Okay.
Indeed.
Yeah. So I think that is possible, like from GitHub to Zapier, then from Zapier to Slack.
Yep. Totally.
because
think it's-
we can see we can look for issues, new issues with ContribEx comms level. That
Mhm.
is feasible. I tried that in the
Oh, okay.
in the workspace,
Yeah.
Slack workspace. Yeah, so that is feasible.
Okay.
Now we just need to make sure the Zapier to Slack using webhook is possible.
Cool. Okay. I'll jump into the Zapier account after this. See if I can figure out if it's just throw more money at it or something else.
Cool.
Yeah, just figuring out how to connect Zapier and Slack.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it sounds fun. Sounds like a good thing to do. And that's the last item on our board. So we are 6 minutes over. Apologies for that.
Luna's upset.
But we're done. Aw, poor baby.
When you want to go for a walk. Yeah, you poor thing.
Any other beyond last minute items that we want on the recording? Nope.
Maybe we can discuss all the record. No issue.
Yeah. We can always discuss on Slack too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. So let's say goodbye to our friends on YouTube.
Bye,
YouTube.
y'all.